I'm getting a little tired of hearing that after 6 policemen get arrested for shoving a floor lamp up some black guy's ass and ripping his intestines out, the police department announces they're gonna have sensitivity training. I say, hey, if you need special training to be told not to jam a large, cumbersome object up someone else's asshole, maybe you're too fucked up to be on the police force in the first place.
Yo, I start my morning with a coffee, then cruise, stalking the avenues for people I can falsely accuse. Cause that's the attitude that we have throughout the department, displaying gratitude for tactics of harassment for charges. Above the law, yeah, we're the blue-shirted henchmen, in tune with the system, immune from conviction. Looking forward to lunch breaks, cakes and bagel chips. Take longer than a minority, civilian complaint list. Do it all the time, so I expect to get away with it. Accuse him of a crime for some dollars on my payment slip. I ain't worried, only a small percentage of incidents where officers involved with assault that ever get disciplined. In most cases it's a favorable statement, but some severe punishments like lost days of vacation is tolerated behavior when your wife gets thrown. Who's to decide and to equate what is right from wrong? But don't look at me, I'm neutrally saying truthfully. Look at the relationship of cops in their communities, trained to intimidate victims till it gets resolved, paid to interrogate civilians with excessive force. Cause we get bored at our jobs and like to believe we're strong, ignoring laws and your right to leave you free from harm. I doubt it's gonna change factually today. The lower the crime rate, the more brutality complaints. Lives get ended, people defenses against us animals who never seem to get reprimanded or held accountable. It's no coincidence that blacks are ending up dead. Just look at the race and social status of the suspects. Never reaching trial, no admission of liability. Most cases are settled out of court and stay by the city, leaving them a bruised and beaten brutally and blatant. But injuries ain't bad enough to pursue a litigation, cause the police department's still a coward's majority since the merger with the transit and the housing authority. Thousands dishonorably take part in arson and larceny, with officers discharging the firearms into poverty. So chances of fighting back are usually probably limited. The anti-crime drive and the quality of life initiative, but in response to act violent and dysfunctionally, and those who survive gonna die in police custody. There's no escape cause the gate's locked from within, defending oneself against a renegade government. A history of patterns with police misconduct, unprovoked assaults to unleash the monster. The truth is in denial and the proof is in the files. That's the FBI agents up in Ruby Ridge, Ohio, or ask the agents involved with the seizure Waco, Texas. As Branch Davidians failed attempts at self-defenses, guns and body vests against the backs of murder spies. Some were shot to death, the rest were gassed and burned alive. Dishonesty fuels fires to fight wars with, atrocities with military-style strike forces. Increased personnel boarding up on the mothership. 10% of our country's enforcement is for the government. We've been evolving, our expansion's not debatable. Marshal services added to the special operations group, but on the rise since we kill with batons. You're ill-advised if you think my squad ain't militarized. We got tanks and bulletproof jeeps and pieces full of ammo, new camouflage vehicles that creep in the shadows. So money is easy, especially in these corrupt decisions. That's why they're calling us the criminal injustice system. So even if there ain't a threat to hurt us against procedure with the legal steps and searches.
No, you don't! For what? I'm not a professional. I don't care!
Videotape that shit! Videotape that shit! Everybody!
Yeah, no right to detain me. No. I ain't resisting.
We're watching you!
Without probable cause, convincing accused through verbal, psychological, and physical abuse. Plus not to mention if you're a federal offense, then deprivation of food, water, and medical attention. Just confiscations of blow and coke money, denying legal immigrants access into their own country. Incarcerations of torture and mayhem, murder staged at cells, suicides and escape attempts. The truth sails through the inner city tales. A mysterious death was in the Mississippi jails. Not a chance to be free when you're owned as a slave in the land of the tree, in the home of the grave. The Alabama cops ain't seen as a resource, with Ku Klux members in the local police force. Less chance of survival when given a visit, and get away with white supremacy and legally lynching. Cause we've been given permission to do this to you, since brutality and murder is just business as usual. Media whitewash and understated ignorance that downplay brutality as isolated incidents. So what constitutes appropriate behavior when racial demonization is working in your favor? If only we could look past color or minds could grow. Reducing brutality should have interfered with crime control. But we don't like when you challenge our authority and don't respond well to sarcasm or arguing. So bring it on, yo, I got a taser I could use. I'm begging for an excuse, power was made to be abused. Cause most causes of a cop's brutality stems from a rather cowardly and cocky mentality. Released if you're cooperative, composed and compliant, but arrested if you're a wise guy and defiant, resulting in being beaten for a pitiful cause. We're resisting arrest on top of the original charge, with no balance or budget to battle the system or corruption and injustice of this capitalism. Providing fake alternatives and giving scams hope. Propertyless class of wage laborers who can't vote. A government in the business of secret agencies can represent the interest of everyone simultaneously. Police perpetuate political thrill while enforcing the government's hypocritical will. But in reference to the Constitution as it reads, there's only two specific needs for the federal police. The first is to serve and protect our lives honestly, for punishments being provided for defined piracies. The second urgency is counterfeited currency, cause creation of money is a capital emergency. If only we would have learned how to love more instead of forward chores being spurred by the drug war. If only we had followed our dreams of integrity, maybe we wouldn't be labeled and seen as the enemy. Stopped and felt, touched and searched, feeling in between shit. Not to help but to hurt, stealing inconvenience. No accountability from higher authority, since reform's a liability, it's not a priority. You need abolishments for confronting these issues. You need proper acknowledgement from public officials. You need a revolution for defeating the beast. You need to try to find a way to police. I said we need abolishments confronting these issues. We need proper acknowledgement from public officials. We need a revolution for defeating the beast. We need to try to find a way to police.
You know what they ought to do? They ought to have two new requirements for being on the police: intelligence and decency. You never can tell. It might just work. It certainly hasn't been tried yet.